when I looked him up while he was talking, I was like, no, I don't know him. And then when he got to telling me about it, I was like, shit, yeah, I'm ready to, I'm ready to get it in.
He made them white folks mad, boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shit, we should be live from Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, but from Kofi Piesie TV now. Yeah, we live. Hold on, I got the exit out here. I can't have that window up when we live. My shit gonna start slowing down and lagging. Hold on, let me go here. Y'all give us just 1 second, man. We gonna get started. Let me go here to my phone. Pull it up on my phone so I can see people in the chat. All right. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. T.challa, you gonna be good too, man, to share.
Yeah, I can share my screen and all that.
I ain't heard. You said all that?
I said I can share my screen and all, and without having to send you nothing.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna share it to the page real quick, and then I'm gonna jump into this. Y'all share it. I ain't finna share to all these groups, man. I don't know why it do this stupid stuff, man. They used to let you go all the way down at one time where you don't have to keep coming in here trying to share it, man. On Facebook, it does that. If we go live on Facebook, I can just keep hitting it. It'll go all the way down, man. All the way down. All the way down. I'm gonna share a few more, and then once we get started, I'll share some more. What you say? That's your song, man, Tootie. It is your song. Oh, yeah. All right, man. I ain't gonna jump into it, man. I'll share some more in a minute. But first, I want to say, ETM Hotel. Hey, let me go back because I can't even see where I'm at. Hold on, y'all. Man, what happened? All right. First, I want to say ETM Hotel. Dua Aku, Dua Netcher, Fatmu Lafayette, Fatmu Riri, Fatmu Iwapile, Majuba Iba I Gungun, Majuba Iba I Gungun, Majuba Iba I Lakba, Majuba Iba I Lakba. I always want to get honor and praise to the ancestors, because without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. We are our ancestors. Also want to extend honor and praise to the true and living ancestors out there according to African traditions. Because if we look at everything from a African perspective. Welcome back to Kofi Piesie TV. We got Brother Vyasa Niccolo on the panel, Brother T.challa Bangoura, who will be presenting today, Brother Sutekh, Akande, Iyanu, Oluwa, and Sutekh on the panel. Y'all got anything, man, for Brother T.challa get started? Y'all please like and share the show.
Yeah. Peace, everybody in the chat. Peace, those that will come later. Peace, those that will see it in the archives. I'm excited to hear about my man Jack Johnson. I know a little bit about him, but I can always stand to learn more, man. I think dude was an incredible black man, and he was known for knocking people out. So I'm very interested in this.
Peace, everybody. Peace to all my brothers on the panel. Peace to the family in the audience, present and future. And like everybody else, I'm interested to see, it's T'Challa presenting, right?
Yeah,
Interested
T'Challa.
to see how T'Challa gonna rock this one out. So, and peace, everybody.
Yeah, peace. Peace to everybody watching. I know T'Challa gonna knock this one out the park. So yeah, I'm just ready to sit back and see what's going on. Peace.
All right, man. Again, man, appreciate for people that's tuning in. Appreciate those that may be checking it out in the archives. Turn it over to brother T'Challa Bangoura.
Let me see. Oh, it says disabled for the screen.
Okay. Yeah. Hold on. I don't know why they do that all the time, man. I had to go in here and put it in here every time, man. It's crazy. You good now, man. I don't know why they do that. They always changing stuff up on here too.
Okay. It's taking a second. We good?
It's a yeah, we good.
All right. Yeah, brother Sutekh, I ain't gonna say nothing too much over the air, but I had peeped that too recently. You know what I'm saying? And that's what inspired me about this. One thing I want to say, peace to everybody that's tuned in. For those that are a part of a group that, you research or you whatever it is your group does, you have to support and make sure that you acknowledge what your team members do and the greatness that they bring to your organization or whatever it is that you got going on. Reason why I say that is because I've been a part of various groups and organizations, and they all cliquish and feud with each other. Almost like some 100-year-old war type feud. Like they just, we on the south side, we gonna rock over here, do our performances, and y'all on the west side, y'all stay over there. It's just that kind of stuff has caused us not to get funding for money. And it kind of ties into where I'm gonna go with this presentation, or really a discussion, and just showing what this brother did when he was alive and what was going on, and how important his spirit is in terms of that drive to keep pushing forward that he had, how we must really embody that in order to get through these tough times that we're living in. And part of that is not being selfish within your own organization, to where you don't give credit to those in your organization that help build it up and that help make it what it is. Me and Kofi had a good conversation the other night, and it just made me want to say this today, that you have to respect all of those who contribute to make your thing what it is. Your platform, your organization, whatever you got going on, it's the community that makes it quote unquote successful, or what's popping and what's interesting for people. It's the community. If they don't tune into your stuff, I don't care what you're talking about. If it's not quality there, and if they don't see that you care about the people tuning in, people are not really going to support you. You have to give them something. And without that community supporting you, what are you doing? What are you online for? What are you putting out works for? You know what I'm saying? So just acknowledge the people that's in your community that help make your businesses successful. So we got our good brother Jack Johnson, right? Born in 1878, died 1946. Right. So let me get this up out of here though. Can y'all see this little thing on the side with the windows?
What you talking about? What window?
It's probably not oh, there you go. The thumbnails on the side, it probably wasn't showing up since I'm screen sharing. But so Jack Johnson, nicknamed the Galveston Giant, was the first African American world heavyweight boxing champion. All right, the first. Who was Jack Johnson? Boxer Jack Johnson was born in Galveston, Texas in 1878. In 1908, he became the first African American to win the world heavyweight crown when he knocked out the reigning champ, Tommy Burns. The fast-living Johnson held on to the title until 1915 and continued to box until he was 50. He died in an automobile accident in Raleigh, North Carolina in 1946. Okay.
Hey, T'Challa, before you move on too
Go
far,
ahead.
what is so critical, and this is what I was pointing out in volume 1, the time period, man. Do you see the time period?
Right.
1908, a black man, the first heavyweight boxer, man, that's critical. Like, that is critical because it's still slavery. It's still people down south, like it was still wasn't good for them. Jim Crow, people still getting hung, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, though. I just want to put it in perspective.
Oh, definitely. We definitely gonna get into that with the discussion. The early years. The first black heavyweight champion, John Arthur Jack Johnson, was born on March 31st, 1878 in Galveston, Texas. The son of ex-slaves and the third of 9 children, Johnson possessed an air of confidence and drive to exceed beyond the hard scrabble life his parents had known. After a few years of school, Johnson went to work as a laborer to help support his family. A good deal of his childhood, in fact, was spent working on boats and sculleries in Galveston. So, I mean, 1865 was pretty much yesterday at that point, as you're saying, Brother Sutekh, and we know that Abe Lincoln didn't do a damn thing for us. Like, you want to talk the talk about, honest Abe, this, look here, I ain't trying to hear none of that. You see what I'm saying? Because the fact that we even there in the first place, the fact that we still speaking English right now on this live stream in the first place, I don't want to hear none of that. You go and do the research behind what the living conditions was like. And then to be black at that time, come on, man. So, and pretty much after every fight, it was a thing, because he was doing his, he knocking them out. So that plays into some of the psychological issues, and how much of a threat that black men and black people in general, but specifically with this discussion today, that black men being, big, brolic, and physically backing up what they look like. You know what I'm saying? And knocking you into the middle of next week.
Right. And the crazy part is, put it back in perspective,
mm-hmm.
They didn't even consider him a full man. What was it? 1/5 of a human, or what's the percentage they break down?
It was 1/5 or 1/3, something like that.
Yeah, you got scientists running around the world trying to convince the world that the African American man is the missing link, and that they are like, we so primal, like we primates. We're not even on their level, but at the same time, you got this man running around displaying his boxing skills and knocking the people out that they trying to say that more advanced than the African race is. It's just crazy.
Man, the original Debo. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yo, but let's get into some of this economics real quick. So by the age of 16, Johnson was on his own, traveling to New York and later Boston before returning to his hometown. So he, as they said, fast lived. Life was, what's the life expectancy back then, even just being alive as a human being, Homo sapien sapien, right? And then to be black on top of that. You know what I'm saying? It was a, living fast. So Johnson's first fight came around this time. His opponent was a fellow longshoreman, and while the purse wasn't much, just $1.50, Johnson jumped at the chance and won the fight. $1.50, y'all. Not long after he earned $25 for managing to stick out 4 rounds against professional boxer Bob Thompson. Okay. So challenging James F. Jeffries. By the early 1900s, the 6'2" Johnson, who'd become known as the Galveston Giant, had made a name for himself in the black boxing circuit and had his eyes set on the world heavyweight title, which was held by white boxer Jim F. Jeffries. Jeffrey refused to fight him, though he wasn't alone. White boxers would not spar with their black counterparts. But Johnson's talents and bravado were too hard to ignore. Finally, on December 26, 1908, the flamboyant Johnson, who often taunted his opponents as he beat them soundly, got his chance for the title when champion Tommy Burns fought him outside of Sydney, Australia. Burns, who had succeeded Jeffries as champion, had not only agreed to fight Johnson after promoters guaranteed him $30,000. Think about what $30,000 meant then. The fight, which novelist Jack London attended and wrote about for a New York newspaper, lasted until the 14th round, when police stepped in and ended it. Johnson was named the winner. Okay. So he said it lasted to the 14th round. So, you know how we say 12 rounds with the champ? Like, he's fighting bouts, look, 15 rounds down here in the next paragraph. Like, so you're talking about a brother who is not only a heavyweight, you know the thing with the heavyweight division, you better make sure you have your conditioning if you're going to be slugging with the big boys, because you could punch yourself out in the first round if you don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I don't want to cut your bill, but what are you reading from? Does this speak towards his days as a youth and being involved in them Negro Royal battles, whatever they want to call them?
I'm not sure if they go into it on here, but I was definitely going to get into it.
Okay. All right. If you're going to touch on it, I'll be quiet.
No,
but that goes into that.
If you want to speak on it, go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, I was going to say, just imagine the stamina you have to have for that, or you're just bred to fight. I'll wait till you get there because I don't want to take from your build process. But okay, I just didn't know if it was glossing over that fact on that article. But go ahead, keep going. But go ahead.
That definitely well, it kind of ties into what I'm gonna go with the conversation with as heavyweights having to keep their stamina. And I just want to kind of pause right here and talk about this as getting your conditioning for a fighter. You know, like any athlete, every other aspect of your life is going to play into what you're doing with your sport. And so if you're somebody who has, for instance, like our good brother Johnson here, coming up in late 1800s, early 1900s, you know what I'm saying, in America, black man, you know, thoroughbred, strong, you know what I'm saying, well, not a straight ox. You know, not only coming from that gene pool, because we're looking at genetics. That's why he looked the way he looked, because his daddy's daddy and all his daddies pretty much was looking like that. And then you turn around and you're born as a black man during this time, so you having to work. Yo. So then you get involved in, well, not get involved, but you're really forced to participate in these battle royals, as you said, Brother Vyasa, that to me, you know, these are forgotten horrors here in America when you want to talk this post-racial society BS. or you want to talk like, you know, you can pretty much do and say what you want because you're an American citizen and you have the right to freedom of speech. You had brothers like this was going around knocking your block off at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like the smiling in the pictures while they lynching you over your barbecue body type time. Like he was knocking their blocks off and wasn't caring. To the point where he had people afraid to really fight him, saying that he was like really an ape. You know what I'm saying? The closest thing to an ape, quote unquote, socially, than an actual human being. The level of disrespect that we've endured just from this time to now, like, you know what I'm saying? A fighter has to push himself to the point where he's not going to give up. He's going to keep going no matter what. You got people who have quit in between rounds and fights, both in boxing and MMA. You know what I'm saying? I could pull up a playlist of how many fighters that have actually quit. This man never quit. He was from his childhood having to be blindfolded, and the children were forced to fight each other until there was only one standing. Somebody unmute their mic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine going through that, and that's your daily mode of survival. That's you got to fight Jack Johnson for your peanut butter sandwich and your water each day. That's what you're being bred for. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. So imagine having to be forced into that mentality. So that's all I wanted to say. I want to go somewhere else with it in a moment, but keep going, T'Challa.
That's it's the type of thing that people hear about and they, oh no, that's so horrible, but this was reality. Which is the reason why people like Jeffries, he looking at by that time in his life, he like, man, come on, you know what I'm saying? I do this. So let's read a little bit more, and I want to get into the next part of him that I want to talk about that a lot of people really don't know about. So, fight of the century. From there, Johnson continued his calls for Jeffries to step into the ring with him. On July 4th, 1910, he finally did. Dubbed the fight of the century, more than 22,000 eager fans turned out for the bout, held in Reno, Nevada. After 15 rounds, Johnson came away victorious, affirming his domain over boxing and further angering white boxing fans who hated seeing a black man sit atop of the sport. So, let's see here. Why is it?
They've been trying to take boxing back ever since then, and it ain't work.
Why is this up here in my face? I'm trying to get this out my face so I can click on my tabs.
Yeah, he had to chase Buddy around the world, man, to try to get that dude to fight him. Like dude was dodging him, man.
You want no smoke?
Man, I'm telling you, he was dodging him so tough in it's the early 1900s too. It's so crazy.
And that's crazy that early 1900s, they got 22,000 fans coming to see their match. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you're going to see it is if you come to it because, you know,
Right.
ain't no TV, no radio. Well, they might have had radio, but I don't know if everybody had a radio in that early times.
Okay. Yeah, that speak to, you know, what Shawn was saying yesterday, you know, with telecommunications and being able to, nowadays we can pretty much get information at the drop, you know, at the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's crazy.
And if
So
you blink twice, it's going to be a problem.
This next part about good brother Jack Johnson here, dealing with the monkey wrench, right? And, you know, I don't know, maybe some people might be familiar, maybe a lot of people aren't, but this site was kind of interesting. Came across it the other day. Not really up on it if anybody's up on it. You know what I'm saying? You can't know everything, right? So I'm just checking it out. And even before I read and get into it over here on the right side, different dates of different things that some of us may have heard or have, you know, re- maybe researched, looked up, or I know certainly you probably just heard in the community about people inventing things. What, like I said, no, Levi's logo doesn't symbolize torture of U.S. slaves. It advertises strength of genes, but I mean, just all kind of stuff to just check out to see. This page is, I guess, like says sort Africa check, sorting fact from fiction. So, just something to look into for those if you're interested. I don't know how credible it is. Like I said, I came across it the other day when I was looking up stuff to talk about for this brother. So I wanted to see what they had to say about, the monkey wrench. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about the psychological aspect of, let's say a business is founded during the 1800s, 1900s, right? During this I want to say like that part of the journey, because it's still going on right now today, but during that part of the journey with in terms of slavery and the mistreatment of black people, even if that business does not necessarily, even if it can't be looked into, factually proven that this symbolizes the torture of slaves, or that this is a derogatory term towards black people, or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Whether or not if the folk myth is like, true or not, look at the time period that we're talking about. And I know I'm here in the present speaking about things in the past, and I don't want to put, like how we put modern paradigms on, past peoples. Like we act like it's like it was for them then, like it is for us now. But in terms of slavery, racism, you know what I mean, the Jim Crow, all of that, that's most certainly the same conversation right now today. Um, only thing is we got, fancier clothes, and we right here talking via the internet to me, and the value of the dollar, the price of everything, the inflation. Like, things is 300% more expensive. But I feel like it's the same treatment going on, because right now, if you follow boxing right now, it's some things going on in the boxing world right now that's kind of foul, dealing with racism. Always has been in terms of.
Look how they put Vasily Lomachenko at the top.
Right.
Come on, man. How's he at the top?
Right.
He got like 13 fights, bro. They put him over Terrence Crawford, over Earl Spence. Get out of here, man.
Yep. But let's see. Let's get into this monkey wrench invention. It says the name was not monkey wrench dates to 1800s, not the name given to boxer Jack Johnson's invention. Okay. But so my question is real quick. So when was the term monkey first applied as a social derogatory term towards black people? Can anybody answer that?
I have no clue.
And I myself haven't specifically researched when, I haven't looked that up. But it's just something feels funny about this, because I've always heard both sides of the story, but I don't know what's going, I want to know when exactly that term was really applied. But anyway, we can go ahead and continue. Is the term monkey wrench racist because it's the name given to a tool invented by a black man, legendary US boxer Jack Johnson? That's the claim in a meme shared on Facebook in Kenya. It reads, on February 3rd, 1903, Jack Johnson became the first Negro heavyweight title champion. But did you know he was also an inventor? While in jail in Kansas, he invented the wrench. In 1922, he received a patent for his invention. In fact, white people still found a way to tarnish his great accomplishment by dubbing it the monkey wrench, a term many use freely today. Do the math. And so, as you see here, they have the little article there says incorrect. Okay, so let's get into it. Monkey used for small specialized tools since the 1800s. Okay, the website Tool Powers explains that a monkey wrench is a wrench with two straight metal jaws that can be moved up and down by twisting a screw mechanism. This means it can be used on bolts of almost any size. The term monkey wrench, it says, simply means it's a wrench ready for immediate use. The online etymology dictionary of word origin says monkey wrench has been used as the name of an old style of wrench with a jaw adjustable by a screw mechanism on the handle since the 1800s. Monkey was used in the 19th century, especially by sailors, as a modifier for various types of small equipment made for specific work. Monkey block, monkey bolt, monkey spar, etc. And the name notion probably is behind the name of the tool, the dictionary says. Okay, so, oops. Monkey wrench patented in 1880. The confusion may come from the fact that Johnson's full name, John Arthur Johnson, did invent an adjustable wrench in 1922. His 5-page patent is available on the US Patent and Trademark Office website. But Johnson wasn't the first to invent an adjustable wrench. They had been patented in the US since 1835. Johnson was born in 1878. In 1880, when he was 2 years old, a tool was patented with the name monkey wrench. Monkey wrench was used on patents dated 1881, 1883, 1891, 1904, and 1912, years before Johnson's 1922 patent. The wrench wasn't Johnson's only invention. According to Truth or Fiction, he was also awarded 2 patents for a theft preventing device for vehicles. This blocked the fuel supply when an unauthorized person tried to use the car. So wait a minute. You telling me this brother invented some type of, car alarm type of deal? Is that what you're telling me? And you think about then what, vehicles was just really, it wasn't like today. That's a big deal. Johnson was unfairly imprisoned, as the Facebook meme suggests. He was convicted in 1913 on trumped up charges related to his relationships with white women. Johnson died in 1946. In 2018, he was given now I'm not even finna say that word right now, pardon for his baseless conviction, Taryn Willows and Mary Alexander. So
they try to say he was pimping and pandering, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was having them the European white woman. That's who he was dating, and they didn't like that. In them early days. They still don't to this day. But I'm just saying, back then it was. I mean, Emmett Till. You see what happened? He whistled, and we know the story about Emmett Till. So that was very, very frowned on upon. And Jack Johnson was crossing state lines doing it. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't like it.
And so, okay, it says Johnson died in 1946, but then it says in 2018 he was given a pardon. He was given a pardon. The man gone. The man dead. So
yeah.
what
they try to clear their name after it's been so long.
Yeah, that's their way of making up. You know what I mean, for what they did, fucked up to them.
It's called pacification. That's what it's called. It's a way of pacifying us. You'll see this over and over and over again. Give us symbolic victories. Give us all these things that really don't take away from their overall philosophy of maximize every resource and opportunity and give as little as possible. That's the sore root of capitalism. And with them having that mind frame, yeah, they're gonna give you very, very little. Yeah, and in that you're gonna see innocent men go to the demise, and the justification process won't start until afterwards. We see this all the time. How many of the babies got, they statements of hands up, don't shoot, and all that other stuff. I don't want to take away from the bill. My son came in here.
Yeah,
But that's all
okay.
that is. It's just a
Yeah.
pacification process. That's all that is. Somebody's in office and make everybody feel good, get the vote. We're gonna honorary give this pardon to Jack Johnson. We feel like that's a victory because what? Now you see a black man get his just due. Everybody claps and cheers, but what does that do for you living in 2020? It's that pacification process that we have to analyze. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it's kind of like go, it's in with the what's name or with the presentation. I mean, with your what you're building on. What is the? And I'm asking a question. Maybe y'all can answer, maybe y'all can't answer. What is it? What the black man or the, and it's still going on today. But and if you look at during these times period, these early times period of Jack Johnson, you see a lot of our black men attractive to white women. No, they can't. That, especially in those times, man, that it was serious, man. These people was lynching you, burning your house down, burning you in front of people, and having gatherings of burning you, hanging you, falsely accusing you, and locking you up in jail to work for free labor for the rest of your life. And even today, you still see the same thing. You see our successful black men, they rather date outside of their race. I know race is a social construct, but they rather date someone that does not look like them. So is that
It ain't just the men though, it's the women too.
Right, it's the women too.
Can't leave the women out.
Too. Where we can't leave them out neither. So what is it? Is it like a status? Okay, I can have something. I'm a lot of us we gravitate or we go with something that people say we can't get. I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm gonna show them wrong. Is it that, or is it a certain time? Okay, I got a white woman, so this makes me have a certain type of status. This means that I actually made it because I have one of their women, or I have one of their men. Because I still you see it a lot, especially in those times, man. And it's still continuing to this day. I mean, I just want to throw that out there, man.
I'm not gonna say racial intermingling didn't happen then, but I don't think it was ever at the caliber that is projected. You had the political tool used by white men to justify all these behaviors back then, but you still seen black people stick together way more than what they was projecting. That was just used as a tool to get people to vote more than anything else, especially in the early 1900s. The black man wants to vote because he wants to take our women and they're going to get power and take our girl. That was political jargon. And it did lead to a lot of brothers being lynched, but you still see more black families staying together. Over time, you do see a change in our mind frames. But I think it's important to know that, at the same time that we was talking about Jack Johnson and the young brothers being bred literally to be warrior type, if you want to say it that way, or just savage towards each other, if you want to say it that way. You had the girls simultaneously being bred for sex. You can't forget that. And those brothels exist. Jack Johnson functions in those brothels, and then you have to explore the politics of that world at the time to really, really dive into these talking points to understand, that what was the was it the Mann Act, to where you can't transport prostitutes over state line to,
Yeah,
you
they
know,
created the
yeah.
law. They created that, whatever law it is. I can't remember. I was searching this
Yeah.
a while ago,
Now,
but
now
they
think
created
about
that
it.
specific law to get him. Like they created the
Right,
law
right, right.
just to get Jack Johnson.
Now think about it. The law was transporting the prostitute. It wasn't having the prostitute. It was more so you transporting them past state lines. So that lets you know that they know that world exists. You get where I'm going? Breeding these women for sex, all of that. That leads into Kofi's question of the mind frame and status. They was breeding, you know, the ones my complexion, the females, for that, your fancy girls. And I want to get more into this. It's just hard to find people who's revealing the information about it, and I kind of see why, because it's big money. The sex slave trade world. One of the psychologies that they started getting into is messing with people's fantasies and fetishes. If you can make a girl light skinned enough, but she's still Negro, but she look light skinned enough to look white, now you're doing something. Now you're high caliber. You're gonna pay high dollar for her. That's that fancy girl mentality. But the backside of it, the sick, even more demented part of it is it's allowing these white men to get as close as possible to having a white woman as their sex slave. Do you get where I'm going with that? By breeding her that way. So it goes into all that. So what are the Jack Johnsons being taught by the money handlers at the time? This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to get. This is the top of the world. This is the cream of the crop. Here's your drinks. Here's your this. Here's your that. Here's all the sex you want. Keep them pacified with those things. So now we begin to see what? That's the top of the mountain when you have those things. And it's just trickled down all the way to now, Kofi. You know, we'd have to explore those each point by point, but that's pretty much how it would rock out.
Yeah, I can agree. I can agree.
But I just wanted to make that clear to everybody, because we see that wrong sometimes and we don't give ourselves credit. Black men and black women did still stick together in high numbers then and now. I just want to make that clear. So remember, y'all, I'm still trying to dig up them family things, and I got to do that time frame. So we were still rocking together. That's how we got here. So don't get that part twisted or lost. I don't want to take away from T'Challa's build, though.
No, I mean that's all. I'm gonna go ahead and stop screen sharing. I do want to talk about the importance of what he did do as far as his inventing an adjustable wrench. Oh, did Brother Sutekh, you was trying to say something?
Nah, my bad.
Oh, no, that's cool. It's just when I stopped screen sharing, it popped on your thing for some reason. I thought it was anyway. So you see, this notion of angry black man, all black men are good for is, you know, throwing a football, dribbling a basketball, putting on some boxing gloves, knocking your lights out. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have brains, like we don't think. Like if it wasn't for black men and women, that some of the inventions that we enjoy right now today wouldn't exist. Like if it wasn't for black, you know, the sisters, that man wouldn't have been able to really, at least as far as the US is concerned, they wasn't getting out of Earth's atmosphere and being able to successfully come back. Like they hadn't figured out that math yet. And I feel like, especially our sisters, black women, is overlooked with their achievements and what they contribute in math and sciences. But here you have this brother who was in jail and invented something. So what's the statistics, the numbers on how many inventions are produced while being incarcerated from the African American population? You know what I'm saying? How many inventions are produced by the African American population, period? I feel that that's something that we really need to look at and will help us pull together and practice cooperative economics, you know, things like that. Seeing that we right now live in a time where you got more Black businesses popping up than I don't know what. Like every other day, somebody's starting a business. And I'm grateful for that, right? Because Black Wall Street already exists. You know what I'm saying? Like it's here. It's just we got to pull together for real and do something. When one of us does something, this goes to what I opened the bill with. When one of us does something, the other people in his community, in her community, needs to look at that and acknowledge that on some form or fashion. I'm not saying you got to be 100% consistent in supporting a product all the time, because maybe you ain't got it. But at least check them out one time and say, hey, look, let me give it a try. You know what I'm saying? You selling turkey tips over here? Let me get some of those. You know what I'm saying? 4-piece special with mild sauce. You know what I mean? Let me get some of that. Or, oh, you making shoes? Oh, what's up? I need these designs on this shoe real quick. Like, support. Here, this brother is incarcerated in the 1900s, knocking people's block off. You know what I'm saying? Getting thrown in the slammer, and still rocking out, making history. And so you don't have to necessarily invent the first of anything. Like this brother didn't invent the first adjustable wrench, but he came with an improved version that he came up with. You know, like they say, it's not about reinventing the wheel. Just polish it up a little bit, tweak it. You know what I'm saying? Put your flavor on it. I'll yield the floor if anybody want to say anything about that or build whatever. I just think that that's important to highlight because I like looking that up on the side too. African American inventions.
I'm gonna try to take my attempt at 2 questions that you asked. With the monkey aspect of it and it being associated as a racial slur, I don't think we'd ever be able to find a true date on that. That's just me being honest. We're gonna find a lot of associations. And one thing that I want to associate with the Americas and the aspect of that, once again, is that word cimarron. You gotta remember that they was applying that to wild beast and any form of animal that they brought over here, any land animal or any animal that could get away, that would run away and get away from their grasp. That's what it was considered. And slowly it evolved into a title placed solely amongst Black people, you know, to be a runaway, a wild beast, living in the mountains, living in the hills, living in the trees, like an animal. So you see them doing that as early as the 1500s, T'Challa. But at the same time, you see what? You see African genius here. You see our ingenuity. You see them demanding us because of our brains, using us because of the way we work over and over and over again. So you're going to see a lot of these staple inventions, a lot of these people who make these claims out here. I don't think they mean to be pseudo. I think we need to slow down sometimes and fact check and verify things. But who else is going to be so progressive when it comes to ingenuity than other than the people doing the damn work? Other than the people doing the weaving, who else is going to come up with the greatest fashion designs? Who else is going to come up with the greatest music and melodies and all of these things other than the entertainment? It's no different than now, but who's controlling the revenue? Who's controlling the narrative of the conversation? That's, you know, one thing I love about T'Challa, and I love this thing, he opened up with the warrior spirit of, you still speak English. He still spoke English. That battle in itself to show, you know, the control of the psyche. So it's beautiful to see these things are there, but let's keep digging deeper into these fights like my brothers are doing. That's what I want to see. And just look at this time frame that we're talking about and all the correlations that we can find. Here's one for Kofi. 1908, 1909, that's when Richard Wright was born. And Kofi brought him to the table. So you see one picking up that, you know, symbolic spear, fighting, knocking people's, you seen Jack Johnson pull teeth. That's what I love about him. Let's stay on topic, Vyasa. This man walked across the damn screen one of the earliest champions, and probably the only one I'm ever going to see in my lifetime still to this day. To this day, pulling teeth out his glove. Who the hell does that? But, you know, we talk about, you know, how he chin checks his combatants. Also remember this. He had to learn how to psychologically maneuver his way through this. Always smiling. They said, off, you know, out that ring, you was a gentle spirit. Where do you think that comes from? One that he wasn't angry. One that he wanted to not knock everybody's head off. He had to what? Maneuver properly. And set that symbolism of black man fight back too. You deserve to be wrapped up in these clothes just like this and carry that goddamn, what do they like to do at this point? Oh, he's arrogant. Bring him down. He's got too much confidence.
I just want to say, that's the when you walk into a gym, or you come across someone like myself when I worked at Export, and you're coming for personal training. And I'm like, okay, well, today we might get a little work on the bag in, or we might get a little shadow boxing in, even though I'm not training you for a fight. When you go to anybody for instruction with self-defense or anything for your body, really is fitness. Martial arts and self-defense is really fitness first. You comes from people exercising and then, you know, putting certain movements to being able to be practical for defending themselves. Some of those movements cross over and line up, and that truly is part of the beginnings of being able to defend oneself and practice a fighting form. Out there in nature, in the bush, trying to survive. Like, you watching animals and you putting all these elements together and births fighting, right? With that said, you can't be out there in the bush, in the village, swinging on everybody. And everybody know you got them things. You want to know why? Because they're going to go to another village and find somebody in that village who got them twice as hard. And in the next village, and the next village, because somebody always got your ticket. I just want to say, you cannot walk around having hands like that and not be having something type of composure about yourself. Otherwise, you get checked quickly. If not taken out, especially during his time. Not to say that people wasn't doing that. People lost their tempers. But I think that a lot of people have that misconception about people who fight, or people who are fight enthusiasts or anything of that nature, that they're always walking around, particularly black men, ready to hurt somebody. And that's actually the opposite of what you're taught training to be a fighter.
Do you think that's where this whole misconception of black on black violence comes from? Now they have to install fear in us because who else could defeat us if we all seen ourselves as undefeatable? Now you begin to fear your own self. Now you attack your own self. And now they have a false ideology to say what? Black on black violence is what's destroying the black community, when really is a misguided philosophy that's destroying the black community, because there is no such thing. And if we got that fear of one another out the way and did like you said, you know, we looked at this as physical fitness and a form of self-defense. And if I see Kofi as my brother, Sutekh as my brother, and I'm willing to defend them as I would defend T'Challa and myself, then what the hell is black on black violence at that point? Then it's just righteous brothers fighting against what? The unrighteous. But if you got the righteous standing up in the midst of that, what happens? You got to shut them up. And you can just say, look at him. He's attacking his own kind. He stands up there and says he loves black people, but he can't fucking stand niggas. Look at him. He's confused. But really, we talking about what? Ideologies. And they misconstrue what our warriors say, what our leaders say. And now we all, you know, have to be in the crowd rumbling against each other blindly. And we have to get past those points. I don't want to steal the show. I really don't, y'all. Y'all know how when I start talking, I just keep going. I think it's because I hate silence.
It looked like Sutekh had his mic open a little while ago.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say, to be I think it's a I was speaking on misconceptions. I think it's a misconception of if people are strong, brawny, big, then that means they got to be dumb. And I think that Jack kind of tore that all apart because he was strong enough to lay you out, and he was smart and intelligent enough to create these inventions and come up with these unique ideas. I think that tore that misconception all apart. And the fact that he was labeled as 3/5 of a human while he's laying out these same people who feel this way is ridiculous, bro. I think that's crazy. I love it though.
I definitely can relate with that, brother Sutekh. Like, it's crazy in the fitness where I would hear all types of theories, and everybody, you get on YouTube right now and you can pull up stuff of different ways to do things, and some people go against the intellectuals, quote unquote, against versus the people that it just becomes a big a tangled web for no reason. And that is crazy because of that whole what a nerd and geek is in America. You know, somebody who's smart is the only one who's like smart and techie like that is, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Glasses, right? Bifocal joints on, and you got your pants flooding, and the clothes too little, whatever the case. But the person getting straight A's, like that's a TV show misconception right there. Because I know plenty of people right now that's just on this panel that's probably viewing this show. I'm not looking on the YouTube, but I've seen comments in the chat from people going back looking at our earlier videos of people making intelligent comments, whether they agree with me or not. And they bring up good points. So my point is, it's good thinking people. And I'm pretty sure that some of y'all, it's somebody probably yoked in the mug right now watching this, sitting back strong as ever with a Jack Johnson right hand and a Mike Tyson left hand. You feel what I'm saying? I know I got a little something over here. You feel me? But my point is, Black people, look to your neighbors, look to yourself, and understand that we have everything that we need in terms of to be able to get us through any circumstance. You can have brains and bronze. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Go ahead, brother Sutekh.
Yeah, man, that's just crazy to me. And for people to label you, for a whole population to label you as 3/5 of a person, but every time you get in the ring with these people, you laying them out, bro. Like, how can you believe that? That's crazy.
God, you can make any excuse you want at that point. Negroes don't feel pain. That's why it's no point in me fighting him. Like they can, cowards gonna make up their lives and anything they can. I mean, that's just all it is. It just shows the cowardness to it. And then it shows what? How afraid they truly are to lose that symbolic chokehold of world power. There's absolutely no way that you can put footage of every woman on this planet with any kind of complexion past quote unquote fair and then compare it to all the quote unquote fair skinned women of the world and not say this colorful flock looks way better than this flock. You can't do that. So what do? You have to hide it, and you have to show the most grotesque things you can, these most hideous things to control the mind. Same thing with Black men. You can't show a strong Black man that's intelligent being the leader. If you show him strong, he has to be a brute. If you show him intelligent, he has to be weak and docile. He's a good boy, but he ain't never gonna get nowhere. He can't make a decision for himself. He's weak. Not knowing that that man is fighting one of the strongest battles of all time. He's controlling his temperament. Because in real life, he wants to slit throats. But they don't display that. And the only people who are going to display that is going to be us. And we have to do like we're doing Sutekh and T.challa at the moment, bring these conversations to the forefront. We the ones that know, we the ones that experience it, right? We got to speak for them because we got these babies out here getting it twisted. I want to ask y'all this. Do y'all feel like they're going to try to, you know, this is just my brain. Maybe I smoke too much coming up. Is John Kofi white redemption, mystical Negro to the Jack Johnson figures? The big, strong one, and let's make him something that's just so far unobtainable to show that we see him as a human, but it becomes impossible for the average, everyday brother to obtain. We can't perform miracles, and not every brother off the street is going to be able to become heavyweight champion of the world, even if he has the skills to obtain that title. Especially if he goes out just thinking knocking everybody out is the way to get it, because what they're going to say, like, you just broke the law. That's assault and battery. He might become one of them gladiator school champions and get his respect in there. So that all goes back into one key point that I want to bring back that T'Challa made. And that's obtaining an awareness that you have to fight that battle over that Anglo-Saxon voice in your head and make sure that their worldview never becomes your worldview. And if you're going to decide to fight on anything, whether you're male or female, whether you're going to fight with your fist or you're going to fight with your pens, and we're not telling people to go out there and fight. We're just saying, you know, we all have our fights in life. We hope that you do it for the right cause and become a legend like Jack Johnson did. Not forgotten. His name ain't, his story ain't told right. I'm looking at the title. My bad, y'all. Can't forget him though. Too legendary. I wish we could show footage because that was dope when he was pulling the teeth out as well.
I wasn't sure if they would strike the channel showing footage. I got the YouTube video pulled up that I was gonna show, but I don't know if Kofi trying to get off here because he is trying to come back with something tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if they going. I don't know, man. As far as what they do with these videos, now that's why I hadn't really been doing putting no videos up because but I mean they'll let me know if I'm gonna strike it. If I start playing it something, they'll show it right then, or they gonna let me know they're gonna strike it. But I don't know. I just try not to play too many of them videos because they funny with it. Because I know they strike one Sutekh did. Shoot, they strike one that I did. They strike one that Shawn did. And we had to go in there and contest it or whatever. Let them know we ain't making no money off of it. We know, our channels is not monetized, Kofi Piesie TV nor Mossi Warrior Clan YouTube channel. So, you know, we ain't making no money off of it. It's not monetized. But sometimes they don't do nothing, man. They just all depend. I don't know all the ins or out as far as them striking it for with the music or with the videos. And I know a lot of the videos we got ain't been striked, you know. So I don't know.
What you gotta do is when you go on YouTube, they got a filter. They got a filter list, and it's a button on there that say Creative Commons. And you click that button, and then you search for whatever you want. And all that stuff don't have no copyright on.
Okay, you're gonna have to show me that. Yeah, you're gonna have to show me that. Yeah, but yeah, man, we appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in. Hope y'all got something out of it. You know, not just Jack Johnson being a great boxer, but you know he was he was an inventor. You know what I'm saying? Misconception, like they were saying, of you know, you can, you know, the misconception of, you know, big man is not smart, you know, and so, you know, just clearing up that misconception too as well. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, if you hadn't got Spears of the Mossi Volume 1, please go to Amazon.com and purchase your copy, or go to KofiPiesieTV.com and purchase your copy. Volume 2 will be out real soon. We'll be making a big announcement about the pre-orders next week. But like I said, we have um, something, you know what I'm saying, special for, you know, those that may order the pre-orders, you know what I'm saying? So I think everybody jump on those incentives. We have 2 incentives, I would say, for volume 2. Be looking out, like I said, for volume 2 in the next, I think the next 2 or 3 weeks it'll be out, but we'll be making a big announcement on that next week. So stay tuned for that. Again, man, we appreciate y'all. We want to say Black African Power. And, you know, we appreciate the support. And we'll be back this evening on Facebook for another brief discussion. We are. Peace.